The old house breathed around me, a symphony of creaks and whispers in the dead of night. I sat at a heavy wooden desk, the only light a flickering candle, casting dancing shadows. Before me, an ancient yellowed parchment lay unfurled, its edges brittle with age. My hands, trembling slightly, traced the faded, archaic script. A story began to unfold. It spoke of Elara, deep in the woods, dropping her canteen. The sudden, unnatural silence. A silence that swallowed all sound, leaving only the frantic beat of her own heart. Then the chilling realization she was not alone. A feeling of being watched, unseen. The narrative shifted, pulling me into a world of ancient dread and unseen hunters. The scene changed in my mind's eye from the dusty room to the oppressive, dark woods. No rustling leaves, no chirping crickets. Just an unnatural stillness, a suffocating quiet. Then, a sound. A high, piercing note, like a violin string stretched to its breaking point, followed by a lower, guttural tone echoing through the silent, suffocating forest. The parchment called it the tuning, a prelude to the hunt, a chilling preparation. The story described a desperate run, a frantic escape through the tangled undergrowth. Every shadow a threat, every rustle of leaves a potential pursuer. The air grew heavy with an unseen presence. The forest itself seemed to hold its breath. The parchment's words painted a vivid, terrifying picture in my mind. Then the sighting. A POV shot from a hiding place, heart-pounding. Through a crack, a tall, distorted figure drifted silently past, barely visible. Its limbs bent at unnatural angles, a grotesque parody of human form. A faceless head, smooth and devoid of features, turned slowly towards the hiding spot. Where a mouth should be, only a vertical slit, impossibly long and dark. From that slit, a soft, trilling vibrato, a sound that burrowed into the soul. It was a sound of pure, ancient malice, a hunter's call. The parchment described its movements as a drift, a silent glide through the trees, never touching the ground, never disturbing a single leaf. The trilling vibrato echoed, a haunting melody of impending doom. It was a sound meant to disorient, to paralyze with fear. The story continued, detailing the creature's relentless pursuit. A game of cat and mouse, where the mouse was always one step behind. The parchment's words were a cold hand gripping my heart. The sun had long set, plunging the room into deeper, more menacing shadows. I reached the section titled "The Final Note," my breath catching in my throat. It spoke of Thomas, humming a tune, a desperate attempt at comfort. But the humming was a mistake, a beacon in the oppressive silence. A warning about Blackwood Valley, a place where the veil between worlds thinned, where the entities waited, drawn by sound, by fear, by life itself. My unease grew, a cold dread spreading through my veins. Then, a sound. Faint at first from outside the house. A soft, melodic trill. The same sound described in the parchment. It was getting closer. The sounds were no longer confined to the story. My trembling fingers ran over the parchment, seeking answers, seeking escape. I noticed an unusual thickness, a subtle bulge in the ancient paper. With a delicate tearing sound, the pages began to peel apart. Hidden within, a small, flat object, carved from dark, ancient wood. It was a tuning fork with faint, spiraling symbols etched into its surface. As I held it, the trilling outside abruptly stopped. A sudden, ominous silence. The air grew heavy, charged with an unseen energy. My heart pounded. The tuning fork in my hand began to hum, a low, resonant vibration. The hum vibrated up my arm, a chilling tremor that reached my very core. A terrifying realization dawned. I had just answered their call. I was exposed. My location revealed by this cursed artifact. The faint hum from within the house, a beacon in the suffocating night.